In a broken wasteland, come to my fire.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Holy shit, what an incredible, fucking hell. I don't even know how to put it. Just fucking crazy shit's going on all around the world. But we're fucking focusing on here on the metal. And as you can see, my guest this week is Mr. Ray Worth from the band Bask. Dude, how the fuck is it going?
Going pretty good. Yeah, going pretty good. We wrapped up tour maybe 7 or 8 days ago for the album release. Response has been solid. Sales have been good. Check boxes all around.
Fuck yeah, man. That's amazing because I'm going to go ahead and let some people in. And just so you know, while I'm doing this, if you see me looking up constantly, it's because my monitor is above my camera. So it's not like I'm rolling my eyes constantly, but it might seem that way. No, so anyway, so some insight to everybody out in Metal Forge land is this was originally scheduled for one day way back in September, which so happened to be the album release.
Okay.
And then it got pushed to Monday the following, and then it was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you all were in the middle of a tour while we were trying to schedule this. And I was like, oh, no, this can wait. You all go rock the fuck out. So then I was just like, what's that?
Appreciate your flexibility.
No, and I think nobody's getting rich doing this, right? I'm sure as hell not. But right. So anyway, how was tour? Now that you're back and you're sipping your beer, what are you drinking first?
Let's see. I work for a brewery here in Asheville called Burial. And
yeah, I'm familiar.
This is their Oktoberfest that nabbed a bunch of low fills of. So it tastes even better when the price is right.
Nice. Now, do you get to sample new brew and stuff too?
For sure. Sometimes I have to be like, no, it's 10:30. It's a little too early. But hit me back at 12:30 and yeah, sure, I'll drink a beer.
Yeah, definitely familiar with Burial. David Paul Seymour does your artwork for your labels. And definitely you all do shows and stuff there as well, correct?
Yeah, correct. I'm the talent buyer for Eulogy, which is the 400 cap room. That's part of the brewery, and then Forestry Camp, which is the 2,000 person outdoor venue we have.
Hell yeah. So definitely you work with another friend of the Metal Forge, Josh Snyder from Grasping Air.
I do.
Love Josh. He was on the show a few months back. So in the day-to-day life of being Ray, from the guitar player in this awesome band called Bask to being the talent buyer at a couple of venues with some big amount of seating for the most part, that you got to make sure when you're dealing with stuff like that, how do you process and just get through every day?
A lot of compartmentalizing. Like, okay, this block is dedicated to just the venues. Okay, now let's pop into Bask email. Okay, let's address that for an hour. Okay, now we're going back over to the venue. Oh, now we got whatever. Will from Season of Mist needs this answer. Okay, let's reach back out to him and get that sorted. So just a lot of back and forth and the most beautiful dance I could have imagined for my life.
Absolutely. Now, do you find yourself doing some of the Bask stuff, at the day job?
I feel like in general, they're very much aware that there's both of that. And just as well as I know that they're confident that I'll be up until 11 p.m. if that's what it takes to get my
To
job
get your
done. So
stuff done with them
yeah,
too. Yeah.
it's all about a
And
level of trust there.
for sure it is. And dude, that's one of the cool things about being in a business that goes in hand with a band as
Sure.
well. like slinging auto parts. I mean, that helps for the tour stuff. Like, hey, I know this guy in Philly that works at a parts store,
Right.
fuck, that helps. But like for the most part, that, you're just doing your thing, and that's cool.
Yeah, I love the crossover that I get from both doing both, whether it's like out on the road, seeing what this 200, 300, 400,000 cap room looks like, bringing back that knowledge to like my home venues as well, and just learning general road expectations and what bands want to see when they come into, our 400 cap. So yeah, there's a lot of cross dissolve there in the best way possible.
And what sounds so cool about it too is, as you just said, you're seeing these other venues that that are sized just like yours,
Sure.
or whether it be the 400 cap or the 2000 cap or whatever. And another thing, what's so cool about that is, you're also meeting that echelon of people that do what you do also.
Yeah, it's like super like that just happened on this last tour. I had a Philadelphia promoter homie who we've been chatting in email for years, and then it finally lined up, and then we got to like, on site face to face be like, "Oh yeah, I love booking that band," or "Oh, I hate booking that band," or "Oh, that agent's great and that agent's great."
Sure.
It was good. It was good.
That's funny that you bring up. I brought up Philly first, and you ran with it.
Yep.
And in a recent episode, we had a Philly band called Mercifix on, thrash band, and anytime that any of like the heavy talent stuff goes out and they
Hmm.
skip Philadelphia, Brian always emails Amos and says, "Philly skip." and
Yeah.
and so it's like it always gets the skip for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Big love to Amos and Aaron and Jake over at Heavy Talent.
Oh,
They're
sure,
they're
sure,
all they're all
sure.
homies who I've worked with for years.
Absolutely. Totally good people.
Yep.
So anyway, as we, that's the cool stuff that, like, that I like to talk about with like a lot of these band people, because it's not just about it's everything is everything. And the music, it happens because of just everything that we're exposed to day in and day out and everything. So with this new album, um, pretty cool stuff. I listened to it a couple of times straight through. I know Jason Gardner picked up the artist copy
Oh, nice. Yeah, he was at the
at the album release
yeah.
a few weeks back. Tell us about the new album, The Turning.
Yeah, something that we basically started right after, kind of like in the middle of COVID as we were balancing, like, okay, can we get together? Can we rehearse? Now we can't. Okay, now we can't. Okay, let's write. And so kind of started there and then slowly progressed into a full length that led into pre-production and then basically entered the studio summer of last year. And then right when we finished tracking is when Hurricane Helene hit. So then like right soon after that, as soon as everything was like accounted for and we were all solid, we started on the mixing and mastering process. So it feels really, really awesome. Super kind of like therapeutic in a way for it out, to be out in the world and to like, I was just telling a friend this week, like the album's out, the tour's done. I feel like 35% lighter in life in like the best way possible. So it feels really good to have that moment and have good response and like I said, good playback and good interest. It always not that we seek the validation, but it definitely doesn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I think that's adulation is part of it,
Yeah.
and I'm no different, seeing somebody, that is really just like feeling it on, when they're on stage, whether it's me watching a band or me playing in a band and watching somebody out in,
Mm.
even if there's 12 people there,
Yeah.
because we all have those shows. Let's just say that. we all have the shows where there's 12 or 15 people because of time slot, or it just is a bomb show. And, that, I don't know, the fucking state finals of fucking the basketball are fucking
A
being
million
played,
variables. A million
and a
variables.
million things.
Yeah.
The new episode of Alien Earth, go watch it. This is not a plug, but it is. It's not a paid promotion, but it's cool shit. But no, like, I mean, even if in the least amount of people to the most amount of people, if somebody's enjoying it, I think that's rad as shit. So
Yeah, for sure. We always say all the time in the van, we'd rather have 50 super passionate individuals in front of us than 500 uninterested assholes.
oh
So,
yeah.
you know.
And it's funny because as we were talking about venues earlier, and you 500 uninterested people, there's a lot of those Live Nation venues out there that are that way. Unfortunately, I know ours is,
Right.
where it's and I hate that because it's just like, come on.
Yeah, I feel you.
The state of the state of the world in places that, where it's different, like being in Asheville and Louisville or New York or anything, everybody's seen, while we all have like the same kind of substructure, it's still very different. And I like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like even on this most recent tour, the difference between, playing in Philly versus, you know, country Maine. I love and can absolutely appreciate both. And I love when both is on a tour so that I get a little bit of that contrast. To kind of like touch on what you're saying, where each market having its own vibe or embodying its own spirit. And that's the beauty
And,
of touring.
and yeah, let's talk about that. Who did you do that routing? Because didn't you all have like a little cluster of stuff, and then it was like here, and then boom, like all the way up in Maine, where it was
Yeah,
like, is that like, I was like, Jason and I were talking, it's like, wow, that seems like a long way, is it?
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is a long way. But I will say that like this is like the third tour that we've done where we've intentionally scheduled a day off in Maine. There's something about that state I/we just really connect with. So anytime we're able to be up in that area, we like intentionally kind of schedule a day off around it because we love it up there.
Dude, I mean, band move.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not. For the record, I have 0% interest in living there. Way too damn cold for this southern bones. But I absolutely love visiting up there. I love it. So,
Definitely, I get that.
yeah.
I mean, I live in the Louisville area, and we're usually good for a good healthy dumping of snow in about February. That
Hmm.
that gets, we'll get about 18 or so inches over a week or two, and then it hangs around until about the middle of March.
Right.
And then even that's too much because we get into like single digits and tens and teens, and it's like, fuck that.
Yeah, I love like the middle ground where Asheville is, where it's like, yeah, we're in the south, but then also we're in the mountains. So the humidity is not like super crazy. The winters are pretty mild. Like most of the time I'm just wearing a hoodie. Occasionally I'm wearing like a big winter jacket, but it's like a perfect little blend for
Sure.
yeah, for me.
Now you mentioned Helene coming through back, what, in October of last year is when that was.
Late September, yeah.
Late September. um Glad y'all are still here and able to be doing this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Obviously, like I said, with Jason, a friend of mine down there, and the dudes in Temptations Wings
Mhm.
and whatnot, I've definitely got some band family down there and everything, and with Josh with Grasping Air and everybody else. So shout out to you all for for braving the storm.
Thank you.
Um were your losses, I mean, did you have much loss down there? I mean, I know a lot of people did. There were some that were, I know, that were out for like, hey, didn't have power for like 6 or 7 weeks or something or more.
Yeah, I'll definitely like, preface with our losses with like how lucky I feel like we all got. That's for sure. But we did lose our practice space. All of our gear got flooded.
Oh,
We were supposed to fly to Europe 2 days after the storm hit. We had a member that was unaccounted for when the flight was supposed to happen, so we had to like cancel Europe, obviously. And but luckily he was all good. Oh, he just kind of had to like cut his way out of his house with a chainsaw, but finally was able to get in touch with him. So yeah, we're all good. We're all lucky, but it was definitely, without power. I know I didn't have power for like 8 or 9 days, but Asheville as a whole didn't have like water downtown for,
sure.
yeah, like almost like 2 or 3 months, I think. And I remember I was like, I said this on a podcast recently too, where during that time I saw a sign in a real bathroom that said "Wash hands at own risk." You just like,
Wow.
yeah, I was like, I've never seen that sign, that type of sign before in my life, and here we are.
Normally, it's the one that says employees must carve Slayer into forearm
Exactly, exactly.
before returning to work.
Hmm. But
uh, but
you mentioned in Jason. That's crazy that you say you just had a baby on Monday because their EP release I went to this past Sunday.
yes, for the release of Stormforged. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I literally just saw him on Sunday, and we got to catch up and chit chat at the show before their set. So yeah, that's crazy that the next day he was,
Oh,
babying it.
absolutely. And yeah, I mean, shout out to him, Jason. I love you, brother. Everything's cool, man. We got this. Because I know as we're recording this, they're at the hospital, so
Cool.
just hanging out. So, but yeah, now back on you did the tour. You're back home. What's going on for the rest of 25?
From a band perspective, we're working on about ready to announce some November dates that we'll do that may or may not actually be coming through your neck of the woods. I feel like
Right
I'll
on.
know. Yeah, I feel like I'll know that in like a day or two. I had that phone call yesterday. And then we'll be doing some other regional stuff in December, entertaining some more Florida stuff at the end of January. So just kind of trying to stay busy and kind of ride the wave from the new release.
Sure. Now also in this amount of time with the album, you all I do want to hit this. You all actually have a full-time pedal steel player now.
We do, yeah. Jed Willis is an official member now, multi-instrumentalist. He plays guitar, he plays mandolin, he plays banjo, he plays pedal steel, and we were just like, you know what? It's time to really lean into the roots of Bask, and we're like, all right, let's jump both feet in. And so we've been jamming with Jed for a couple of years now. He made a couple of guest appearances on the last record. Then
Sure.
it started taking him on tour. He was doing merch, and then we were like, yeah, we kind of love this guy. Let's let's invite him into the band. And so yeah, so that brings us to where we're at now, and we haven't been, yeah, we're super thrilled with it.
And that's awesome because I love when a band puts something in that is a non-traditional aspect of like and what I mean, what can you say is traditional anyways? It's popular music, uh, even if it's not top 40, let's just say that.
Right.
That like you don't run across a lot of bands that have pedal steel in them.
Right.
But you know, when you run across a band that does, like Yes does from time to time in things,
Hmm.
granted, completely, I mean, probably draw some influence of, but not necessarily the same genre.
Right.
You know, as much as it is with like Pink Floyd with a lap steel
For sure.
in things, or you know, even with Rush and the big, you know, like floor mounted synthesizer that Getty's playing with his feet and his hands, and then going back and forth between the bass and his feet too. So when bands do that, I think it's pretty damn cool. Excuse me, to incorporate, you know, just like non-traditional instruments. it's and I know it's goofy as hell to say, but topically, Spinal Tap, in Stonehenge, the mandolin part.
Yeah,
And it's great because it's a heavy
right,
metal band with a
right.
mandolin part. I
Yeah,
mean, when did Metallica do that? Never. Well, they did on probably Reload or Load, but but that's beside the point.
right,
So
right.
yeah, so walk me through that really quick. Like like with the pedal steel, like how did that come about? Like we have this idea, like what this would
Yeah,
sound.
yeah, for sure. I've loved that instrument with like all my heart forever. Obviously kind of growing up a little bit like country boy, country and
Mm-hmm.
western bluegrass and whatnot. And then even like kind of my first time really hearing it incorporated in like a rock element was Red Sparrows, kind of just like instrumental post-rocky band, and I just fell in love with that too. And so as songwriting progressed, I feel like we all communally kept being like, you know what, I could hear like this big cool slide part that goes right into this like big epic, riff. Or oh, wouldn't it be make this, down part more emotive if we had, a pedal steel player just like milking all of these licks? Or on the
Sure.
flip of that, okay, I'm kind of hearing this like rolling banjo kind of pattern in this part. Well shit, what if we got someone to actually play banjo over it? How much would songs stand out, with a heavy band with banjo or lap steel or mandolin? And so we were like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's just like let's swing for the fences and see what we come out with. And we're all incredibly thrilled with how this record came out, and we all stand on it pretty confidently.
Dude, absolutely. That right there is where it's at. Now, have you sat down? Have you're a guitar player? Have you sat down at the lap steel?
Oh yeah, it's mind blowing.
It's fucking weird to sit down because it's like this does not translate well
No,
to this at all.
not at all.
And
Especially with
and
foot
it,
bars, and knee bars, and volume swells, and then Jed's running like eight different pedals at the same time too, and sometimes he's emulating organ sounds, and it's like, yeah, I love seeing him cook when we're cooking.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love about my lap steel is running the pedal board with it, and just getting some weird like echoes
Yep.
and like delays and flanges. I actually love my talk box with it too.
Oh, sweet. I don't think I've heard that. I bet that's cool.
Yeah. But it's definitely a mind blowing instrument, and of course, I dig the whole thing. Like you said, banjos, mandolins, growing up, kind of country boy as well myself. My dad was always like 50s country, 40s country, like that Hank Williams, Hank Snow, Hank Thompson, all that early stuff, into early rock and roll. And just like in instrumentation is just so wild, like you said. Well, I feel this rolling banjo part, well, let's get somebody to play banjo because it's such, it's not interchangeable. A lot of people think, well, it's got strings and frets, it's interchangeable. It's not.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, 100,
It's
100%.
like because of being a fretted instrument player, uh it's like you can enough to be a little bit dangerous with it.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like I can be like a little more Neanderthal than like he can, where I'm like smash frets, hit strings, where
Yeah,
he's like
exactly.
I got to finesse and perfectly land and intonate right over top of this note and hold it and make sure that it's on pitch, and then I'm like I get to hit string. So
And not only that, but he's also dealing, I mean, depending on his model, what he's playing, it could be 8, 10, or like 16, I believe, strings, or 14 strings
yeah, I want to
on the
say
double neck ones.
I think it's like yeah, I think he rolls 8 or 10. Um, Sounds like we should have got him to do this interview. Now that I'm thinking about
Ah,
it.
no, no, no. See, that's but I mean, you're the guy. You're the the mastermind, right?
I think we all contribute our own parts and we all dress the skeleton together.
That's great. And I love that. So anyway, let's go ahead and break into some general questions about you as a person. Obviously, well, before we do that, The Turning came out back on August 22nd. Um, dude, what do you all want to play from the album going into right now?
You know what? Let's flip it up and let's start backwards. Let's lead with the last track, which is the title track.
Hell yeah, here is The Turning. So now we're going to jump into some derailed questions. These are about you as a person, nothing crazy, nothing special. Fuck it. Let's just jump into deep end. Um, what would you do if you know it was something you couldn't fail at?
Oh man, I don't know. That's hard because I had this conversation recently too, where like
One thing.
I know. I'm going the long-winded version into this though. Is like I feel like that's important to have because like recently we had a conversation about like stage anxiety and how there's a part of me that obviously I get a little nervous about it sometimes, but another part
Sure.
of me loves how that's there because it means that I'm challenging myself. So would I feel that way? Would it be a challenge? Would I be excited if I didn't know I couldn't fail at it? I don't know. But let's say if I got to pick, if you put me on the spot, if I can't fail at it, um, maybe, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe being able to like full time, be able to comfortably make a living off of being creative full time, which I'm pretty close at, which feels really good.
Sure.
But if I could, a few more steps and that might be there. So
That's amazing. And honestly, I've always thought that promoting is where the real money end is in the music business if you're looking at it in a business sense, because yeah, artists get paid because they're that's their asking price, especially when you're booking like a 2000 cap for that person, or 400 cap, because that's a lot of people too. um but like I would, if it's something that I knew that I couldn't fail at, it would be being a promoter.
yeah, yeah,
Just having banger show after banger show after banger show. I
yeah,
think I could live with that. And
yep,
and again, and it's not because of the monetary aspect. I think it's because it's more of the adulation aspect too, like we got into earlier. Because it's like if you have banger show, it's like, dude, you got to go to these shows. They're always awesome, And there's been times of where I've had that experience with places where they
yeah,
just get banger shows after banger shows. And
yeah.
so hell yeah, it's
That's a
it's
good one.
almost the same idea.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good one. I found that there's like few things that make me happiest than standing in the back of a sold out showroom, knowing that I did my part in facilitating these moments that are changing someone's life in the crowd, and or being on stage and seeing someone
Yes.
sing your lyrics, or to like know your guitar solo, or to like announce a song and they scream because they've been wanting to see that song for years. There's little that I found that is like more rewarding than that.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally agree with that. I had one of those experiences at Legions of Metal a couple of years ago. No, I didn't book that show. Uh, my band was playing at it, but it was the moment of being in a band and being a promoter, and just everything coming full circle.
Hmm.
It's almost like I had a religious experience, or what the closest approximation to what I would refer to one as.
Yeah, like a good example for me is I've been chasing like I'm in Raw for years. Like I don't know, from band from Belgium. Anyways, I'm kind of obsessed
Sure.
with them, and I've been chasing them for years. Nothing aligned, and I finally got the email to bring them into like my room. And I remember while they were playing like Solitary Rain, I like cried in the middle of the floor like a baby, and that's the shit that's like worth living for, Like
Yeah.
those are beautiful moments, and if anything, reiterates how vital music is in my life and others.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If you had a magic stick, what are the three things that you would change in the world?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, let's go. Let's rule out some homelessness. Let's rule out some poverty, and then maybe there's some sort of weird structure where music is free. I don't know what that looks like logistically, but let's do that.
Boom, hell yeah. I would go along with all of those as well. No poverty, no homelessness.
Yeah.
I mean, music's art to me. I mean, music is a freeing experience to me. But yeah, like the whole attached monetary value to like the thing, like Spotify streams and all that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dump that
That's
shit.
important. Yeah, yeah.
Dump that. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe, instead of spending a bunch of money on bombs and stuff, maybe we spend it on monetizing, concerts for free public concerts or something,
Yeah.
Let's put it
The arts. And that's another thing that's like so fucking crazy. It's like there's so many arts in schools, like so many music programs that are being cut because of lack of funding now.
Yeah, exactly. And
And it
especially,
almost feels like that's always been a thing that's went on during my life, but
yeah, well, you and I grew up in a country that doesn't value the arts like, say, maybe Europe would.
exactly.
That's where we choose to live.
Yeah. Uh, what's the most disgusting thing you've ever had in your mouth?
Honestly, I think I ate rectum with doo-doo in it in Thailand once. So that would
Ugh.
everything biologically in me said, get this out of your mouth. So that's probably, yeah, probably poo-poo. Yeah.
Ugh. Ouch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Corned beef hash, probably.
Oh, well, that's light compared to what mine.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously dirt. Uh,
Dirt. But
yeah, I mean,
what about nasty shit though? You never
I
tried anything
mean,
super nasty?
huh?
You tried anything super nasty?
No.
Yeah. All right. I was at a restaurant
It's
this
like
past
you
week,
ever seen Clerks too?
forever ago.
There's the whole the ass to mouth thing. I mean,
Yeah, I did a version of that in Thailand, I guess, is what you're saying. But no, even like this past weekend was at a restaurant and there was something on the menu that was um, chilled almond and crab and garlic and grape soup. And I was like, that sounds disgusting. I need to try that. And I did, and it was disgusting.
really? No, no thanks. What book have you read multiple times?
Oh God, I'm not a reader. Like
Okay.
I'll be the first to admit that my like wife makes fun of me all the time because I can like, I read like Where the Red Fern Grows in like third grade. Uh and that's that's what sticks out to me. I love hound dogs, so there we are. Where the Red Fern
Right,
Grows.
right, right. No, absolutely. No, okay. So being if not being a reader or anything like that, cool. No, no thing in that. But like, okay, so is there like an album that you constantly go back to or a movie or something that you constantly go back to?
That's funny. That literally just happened. I was like, we just got back from tour and I was really craving comfort. Like I wanted like my comfort food. I wanted like my living room and just like a movie that I had seen like a dozen times to just like, just make me feel, like I said, comfortable after being in different cities and hotels every night. And it was like just like a southern vegetable plate, like, like green beans, mashed potatoes, gravy, and some kind of protein, and then No Country for Old Men. And I love that movie with like all my heart. And there's just God, it's just so fucking awesome. So yeah, I watched it like a 13th time probably last week.
Hell yeah. I was and it's cool that you went into it because I was gonna ask, you said you had the Southern comfort food, not Southern comfort and food.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, the comfort food and everything. I was gonna ask what your comfort food would have went
Yeah,
to.
well, yeah, that was definitely like, I made a really good stock, like garlic gravy and mashed potatoes. I think that had like some garlic green beans too. And
Nice.
yeah, probably like a peach cobbler for dessert. A la mode for sure.
Ah, with
Yeah,
that nice scoop of vanilla ice cream.
you know it, buddy. You know it.
It has to be vanilla. Actually, it has to be classic vanilla, not that white fucking vanilla shit.
I don't know.
That
I like the vanilla bean, but if you're looking for an alternate, butter pecan really
oh
pops.
yeah. Oh yes. Butter pecan ice cream is definitely yeah, I'm when it comes to that, like I am pretty much I like vanilla based flavors.
Yeah.
Like butter pecan, stuff like that. Even like mint chocolate chip, it's mint, but it's still based out. It's not like it's actually chocolate ice cream,
yeah.
like the thin mints.
Right. If I only get one ice cream forever, it's definitely gonna be vanilla, and then I'm gonna put all the fixins on it, you know.
Oh, sure. Sure, sure, sure.
Hold on,
Excuse
before
me.
we get there, what's your comfort plate?
Oh, so okay. Southern food.
Sure.
I love a nice country fried steak
Okay.
with fucking white gravy,
hmm
criminal amount of pepper.
Yeah, I got you.
Like with mashed potatoes and gravy with it. Green beans, would be amazing. And probably like it's called an apple blossom, but it's like puff pastry where it's like cinnamon. It's like a little piece of apple pie, but the pastry opens up.
Oh, I know. I'm all about that phyllo dough. I'm a
Yep,
fan.
and it's great shit. That's my go-to at the Cracker Barrel
That
when
sounds
I
good.
when I
The
go,
last, the last
which
two,
has been years.
the last two tours we've ended up at a Cracker Barrel once, and yeah, I'm all right with it. Sometimes I just want that like 2 p.m. breakfast, and Cracker Barrel is always there to provide.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the good thing about being out on the road, like with Waffle House and stuff like that. Waffle House is open 24 hours. White Castle, if you're up into this part of the region, the East Coast stuff with White Castle,
Yep.
they've got amazing breakfast sandwiches.
Oh shit. Didn't know that.
They don't taste like the burgers,
Right.
but they're real fresh cracked eggs, fucking all that shit.
Nice.
So yeah. Um do you believe in things like the like ghosts and Bigfoot and like cryptids?
I wouldn't rule them out, that's for sure. And I've only had like one moment in my life to where I felt like I had some sort of um other world kind of vibes, and that's when I was in high school in this super old farmhouse, multiple stories, documented, blah 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 blah. So yeah, sure. I don't know about like Bigfoot doesn't really make too much sense to me, but I absolutely believe that there's like fucking aliens. Like just odds, and once you realize how big the universe is and
Oh
galaxies
yeah.
and odds of that, like if you don't, like you're just ignoring the numbers. So,
Sure. Sure, sure. No, I totally believe in the alien thing. I think at one time, large primate uh people existed like Bigfoot. Maybe not, and then somebody's like, oh, where are the bones? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody says that, but there's also people that, we find dinosaur bones, but they discredit them.
that's true. Yeah, that they were placed there by a higher being.
Yeah. And it's just so many crazy things. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think definitely there's something else out there. I think we're definitely a planar based uh system where you might there's got to be something out there. It's like everything is something,
Yeah.
the way we process music, the way we process thoughts. Why do we have what we refer to as free will kind of stuff,
Yeah.
whereas animals like dogs and well, cats kind of have free will, but
Yeah, little dickheads.
yeah, they are. Mine aren't in here right now. But they may, if you watch last week's episode with Drugula, you get to meet Georgia on screen yet again because they had an all white cat too,
Oh yeah,
named Mr. Bojangles. So,
Mr. Bojangles. I gotta, I got,
which is a great song too. I love some Jim Croce.
yeah. I have.
Like, what's your, outside of rock and metal, what's your go-to? What's your comfort? I'm going to put this on to chill out music.
Oh, like a ton of like instrumental post rock, whether that be like Explosions in the Sky or Mogwai or stuff like that. And then like a ton of country, whether that be like more 70s outlaw country or even like some certain 90s pop country kind of hits me in like the nostalgia way.
You could
You
say
know,
Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw. I know who you're talking.
dude, like absolutely. My grandpa used to pick me up in his old like Ford truck blaring that first Tim McGraw record. So every time I hear it, I'm
Yeah. Don't
teleported
take
back.
the girl. Come on,
Dude,
man.
that's a
I
fucking
know.
like
I was in that era.
yeah, dude. I heard that like maybe like 4 months ago, and I was like, God, no wonder. Like this is such a tearjerker. It's such a good song.
It,
So
and as much as crazy as that is, what's so funny too is like, you know, it's so tear jerking, sad with the subject matter, but then you have the absolute ridiculousness of something like Indian Outlaw.
yeah, exactly. On the
Just
same
not even
album.
the chorus like that. Yeah, on the same album. Not even just
Oh,
that, but just like the whole thing is just something
or
else.
or let's not call this song Refried Beans. Let's call it Refried Dreams. And you're like, that's cheeseball as hell.
Yeah, for
It's there.
sure.
Yeah.
And no, there's when I go to ice house practice, um what my typical thing of what I do is I listen to the songs for the set on the way up because I got a 2 hour drive.
Yeah.
And then after I've done that and practiced, the bass parts on the steering wheel,
Hmm.
uh I I end up putting on like classic country. And
Hmm.
I always sit there and I'll see if it'll do it right now because I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but it's funny because I'll say, "Hey Siri, play that one Kitty Wells song." She ain't gonna do it. Good, good. She knows I'm actually in a meeting right now. Uh, but it wasn't God that made Honky Tonk Angels. Um, so yeah, I totally do the same thing, or it's like play the Statler Brothers greatest hits.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Spotify here recently was like, it's Saturday night. Would you like to put on your like 90s country playlist? And I was like, wait, how does Spotify know that I'm getting drunk at midnight on every Saturday night? And then it knows that that's when I'm sliding into country is when we're hella wasted. So yeah, good job, Spotify. You know about my drinking patterns. So
No shit. That's so fucking funny.
yeah.
Dude, Ray, this has been awesome. I'm not gonna take up any more of your night. Let you get to your awesome stuff that's going on. Um, do you have anything else you'd like to promote or anybody you'd like to give shout outs to today?
Oh, just everyone over at Season of Mist for backing the record, Josh at Tone Deaf for booking tours, all of my boys in the band for, trucking along for 10 plus years and releasing album after album. Yeah, I definitely love everyone in that circle. Josh Robbins and Charlotte for handling all of our marketing and whatnot. And yeah, lastly, you for being so persistent on nailing down this interview. Really appreciate it.
You make me sound like a stalker. Come on.
No, 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 no. I'm saying that in the most appreciative way possible.
Of dude, no, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, everybody's got things, and I'm no different. I got things, but hey, this is ultimately, this is a pastime. I love doing this show. I've been doing it for 6.5 years now, and it's cool because I get to meet people like you, and possibly get to see you coming to my town or helping book you in my town or my band playing in yours,
That's
you
exactly
know,
exactly. I
and
love that. That's
and it's
community.
all a big, and I said in my band, my thrash band Overload's live show for years, whether it's speed, thrash, punk, death metal, or whatever, new wave of traditional heavy metal, we're all one big metal family.
For sure. And I think that that's like what's kept me, you know, for like ever since I was like 14 or 15 and probably started a band and then realized like, oh, the metal community are so welcoming and loving. And honestly, I've had this happen that no matter where I'm at in the world, I can be like, oh, hey, that dude wearing the whatever metal band t-shirt wearing the leather jacket. Hey, I'm in a situation. Can you call a cab for me? I don't know the language or something. And they literally will like facilitate all that. And then while the cab is coming, we'll talk about our favorite bands. And it's like
Sure.
that's literally a true story. And that just like reiterated, how much I love the community that I'm a part of and that we're in and that I continue to invest into.
Definitely, dude. Absolutely. And that happened. Shout out to that fucking dude.
Exactly.
Do you know the person's name?
I don't. Complete stranger.
Complete stranger, but shout out to you if you ever see this, whatever the 1 in 7 billion chance or whatever
Right.
chance that you see this, drop a line.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout
Absolutely.
out for sure. Um, I have one more question.
Mhm.
So this is kind of the hypothetical of the week, You're doing a thing, you've seen it in movies, TV shows, and everything else. You find the briefcase full of money.
Mhm.
You know, se- you know, take it one step further. You're on tour
Mhm.
overseas and you
Mhm.
find a briefcase full of money.
Mhm.
What are you doing?
I already got the answer, and it completely relates back to No Country for Old Men. And I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that dude finds a briefcase and it's cartel money, and then he spends the whole rest of his life trying to avoid the cartel from like getting him, and they end up getting him, and they end up fucking murdering him. So it's like my life isn't worth any briefcase of money. I'm looking at that briefcase and I'm going, huh, someone dropped some money. Anyways, moving on. Get in the van. We're driving to Prague.
Fuck yeah. I get that. Yeah, it's like, cartel money. That's the thing that you
Yeah,
obviously, dude,
I'm-
one of my favorite films is A Simple Plan.
hmm. I don't know that one.
And it's Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, and I believe it's Jane not Jane Fonda, Bridget Fonda.
Hmm.
And they end up coming across a downed plane with a duffel bag full of money,
Hmm. Yeah.
and everything just goes fucking crazy.
Yeah. Nah, I'm like, I'm not,
And
I
it
don't,
takes
I don't,
place in like, go ahead.
I don't need a lot to be happy. I'm fortunate enough to have a home, a land, and people who love me. I don't need to be rich, and I'm doing what's pure and what I love, so I'm good. Someone else who maybe needs it more, who wants to roll that dice, can take the briefcase, but I'm good.
Fuck yeah. I agree. Dude, Ray, thank you so much for coming to the Metal Forge this week. This has been awesome. I
Sure.
appreciate you. And hopefully, yeah, soon, we'll see each other out. We'll have a nice beer together and do the thing, man. Play
I would love
shows,
that.
play metal.
Yeah, stay in touch. I know, like, I feel like I'll know in like a week or so if there's a Louisville date on it, and if so, would love to comp you, meet you, drink a
Oh,
beer,
hell.
slide you a record or something for this. So thank you for your time.
Oh, no, thank you, man. On our way out today, what are we gonna play? What what
Let's
are
go
what are we
ahead.
gonna show people? You have couple music videos,
Yeah.
right?
Let's do The Traveler. That actually just won an award last night at a local music video thing for best costume and design. Pretty cool fact.
Ooh.
So yeah, so let's end it with The Traveler.
Hell yeah, you heard him. The Traveler. Yeah.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttatoosandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series.
Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon